Okay, everybody, I've been working my ass around the house, and I'm just going to stop a minute, about an hour. I'm going to put it like an hour into this. This is the Ontario Rat 3 that I wanted to do the scales on, and I'm going to modify the sheath later. But I remember now the whole thing about this. This is the scales that were on there that I did. Now, notice a few things here, and then we'll go back to it. There's 2 screw holes, and then there's a lanyard hole at the end. Now, the way the Ontario 3 scales are, here's the old scales. It's 3 holes, and the back end is opened up for the lanyard. You see that? So there's 3 holes. There's actually 4 holes counting that lanyard. Now, these slits here is because when I went to take this off to customize it, the screws were frozen solid from the salt water that I work with at work. So the other scale, I did slits like that and broke it away, and I was able to get the screws off. Okay, so see, there's 3 holes here for the scales and then the lanyard hole. So the way I customized it, I wanted to really go all out, is I used only 2 screws, and the lanyard hole is into the scale. So instead of metal in the back, it's a nice micarta end there, and that's what I did. So when I do, I'm gonna work on the scales first, just for a little bit. It should be gray and black, like the that's sweat right there. See how dark it is? There's the dry side. Isn't that something? That's fixing to dry though. Okay, so hopefully the scales will come out that color right there. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what this should be. Micarta. This is a G10. It is something that I'd had, and I went for it, and it's too slippery for me to work with. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a before and after. Here's before, the way it was, I did, and then I'll show you the after. And this is the way the design is from Ontario, right there. See that back end? All right, so next time you see it, hopefully I got scales done, if not tomorrow, because I'm multitasking today. I'm sweating bullets. It's gonna be in the 90s today, but I'm off work, sog out. Okay, what I'm gonna do is stop here. Yeah, it gets kind of dusty. It's exactly what I wanted. I was hoping that's the pattern I would get. It is micarta. This is that, I remember, this is that tough, this is wet, sweat. This is really good stuff. It's hard to sand, but it's heavy duty. So what I'm doing, there's the blank. Before I go, I'm gonna have to go down further, but I won't really know that until I get the sheath done. And that'll determine how thin I go. I'm hoping I can keep it a little bit like this. I know right here where it goes in the sheath has to come down, but I would love to keep it that thick, and if anything, kind of do a little number like that. But that's just an update. I gotta go do a couple of domestic things again. I'm multitasking. It's Fast Friday. I'm so tickled with that. That's gonna be awesome. It really is. Okay, here's the final results. This took me about 3 hours total. I stopped and did things around the house. I came back and did more stuff. But there, I went ahead and did the sheath. I had to do the sheath, at least this part, in order to make the scales fit. Remember, I took a break on it. But there's my leather sheath. This is the Ontario Rat 3. And there's my customized micarta scales, and it's the color I wanted. Yeah, I told you this was a very used knife. There's the rust right there. I'll get rid of that. But these scales feel so good. So this is what the original Ontario scales were without these slits. Remember I told you I had to cut the other side, and I thought I was gonna have to do this side to get the bolts off. But you see where the metal was, the steel was exposed back here for the lanyard, and it has 3 holes. Well, I decided to do 2 holes, okay? These are the scales that I had put on there several months ago, and they were G10. So I just use that as a pattern. I will save these, okay? And that the hardware that I had this on, I was right. It was so stripped and bad, so I used, I went into my magic box and picked up the, those black screws that have saved me on so many knives. It looks pretty good with that too. Nice and flush. Feels great, kind of rounded it off. And I told you I wanted it thicker than what came with it, and I did. So it gives me more meat right here. And all I had to do on the sheath was just adjust the 2 screws right here. Fits in nice and tight. Got my leather happening. I'll touch that up, do some tweaking out tomorrow. But yeah, that's the Ontario Rat 3 with customized micarta scales and a modified sheath. Made in USA. Okay, sign out.